Here we have Save the Mischief, and Mischief is a 16-hand, 5-year-old into Mischief mare, and she is just coming back into work after having basically the last year off. She had come off the track with some really sore shins, so she's been kicked out, turned out for about the last year, and now she's with me getting going again. And so this is her third ride. I had video of her first ride, for which she was excellent on a freezing cold, windy day. And I rode her again a few days later, and we really spent the whole ride in the walk. It was like a 20-minute walk ride, figuring out the contact and just how to soften and connect. And then we came out a couple days later today, and she's having her third ride. And it's just so funny. She's so smart and sweet. The second that she got it, that it clicked with her, and she was like, oh, a little bit of conversation in my mouth actually means to soften. And now she's just like so soft that after riding her today, I'm thinking that this titanium egg butt snaffle was like too much bit and she needs to go into a soft rubber straight bar now because she was just so soft. So she got it and it has stuck. She is super, super quiet and soft in her mouth, and she makes an absolutely adorable shape. She is just as cute a peanut as I was hoping she would be when she figured out the connection. And this mare is just, she's a horse that you can get on after any amount of time off. You're never going to have to lunge this horse. She's always going to be the same horse out. She's just been exceptionally quiet-minded and steady every time I've gotten on her. No matter what's happening with the weather or anything else, she's just always seems to be exactly the same. And once you teach her something, it sticks. She's got it. She came out today exactly where she left off the day before. And then actually even better because I hadn't really messed with the canter the day before. And so today was the first time I asked her to canter and soften, and she was so good. And then we started playing with some poles, and she was fabulous over that. So I just think this mare is so smart and she's so willing. So I really like her. She's fun and easy. And she kind of makes you feel like you know what you're doing. So she really makes a cute shape. And actually here I think she was starting to think about finding a little bit of stretch, which is pretty awesome considering that she's just figured out what the contact is to begin with. So this is very good. And she's light as a feather in my hand. She's in a super light titanium egg butt snaffle. It's as light a snaffle as you can get, but I do think that now she'll go into the Hermspringer Duo or some sort of version of that. So here's our first canter transition to the right. It's a little bit of a run-on sentence. So this is where I think that working with poles are really going to be useful for her so that she understands that the canter transition doesn't need to take 10 strides. It's actually just one step. But once I actually got her into the canter, she has such a lovely balanced canter. It's so comfortable to sit. She holds her own tempo and rhythm beautifully. It is just crazy to me that this horse is having her third ride back after a year, and she is just so adorable and perfect. Here she's giving me some nice starting to soften in the canter, which is awesome. And this is a horse where the moment that you take your leg off, she is so happy to slow on down. So at the beginning of the ride, we spent some time walking over all the poles and things that we could. So now we're just going to do the same thing in the trot. And I don't really have any expectations except that I would like her to give it a try. Sometimes when you do this, they don't quite figure out that they actually could use the little pole or whatever it is as a canter transition, and that's totally fine. But actually, she was super clever about it, and she did a couple of really nice canter transitions over some piles of poles and some flower boxes. So now I'm taking her around to a pile of poles coming out of the corner. And the first time we did this, I was thinking about landing and telling her to turn left so that she would land on the left lead, which I did, but I actually overturned her to the left. And so we kind of came over the pile of poles and then sort of directed at the cavaletti, which was really unfair. So we did a little like scoot left, right. And anyway, we ended on the left lead. So then we just worked the left lead for a second, which she did brilliantly here. But I did a terrible job of piloting her because she thought that we were doing the pile of poles and then doing a sharp left turn to something else, which was not fair and not set to any distance and certainly not what I was asking her to do. So now we're coming around to do it a second time. And now I'm thinking that I really would like to tell her where to go in a nice straight line so that I do not confuse her and make her think that this job is a lot harder than it is. And there you have it. The rider told the horse correctly where to go, and the horse was perfect. But in all seriousness, she did a beautiful canter transition over those poles, and then just such a nice left lead canter. She is just so adorable. I love the little shape she makes. It's so cute. And so we just ended with another pile of poles with some flower boxes, just to complete the pile of poles introduction session. And she was also fabulous for this. This is a little bit more impressive than the other things she's done, so a little bit of an overjump here the first time, but no problem at all. She stayed super straight. She was always going, always trying. So now we're just going to come around and do it one more time and just hope that we can just do it a little bit more quietly. After they overjump, the hope is always that they figure that they can actually come around and put less effort in. What you don't want is for them to have sort of scared themselves from the overjump, and then occasionally when that happens and they frighten themselves a little bit, then you might come back around and have a stop or whatever, which is fine and it's easy to work through. But she did not do that. She came around and actually just did it better. So super lovely mare.